Welcome to my world. I am Marcus Vale, founder of Vale Interiors, and this is my home in the heart of London's Little Venice. It is where my personal life and my design work come together. Today, I will take you through every corner. We will talk about the good choices, the hard lessons, and how a space truly becomes a home. Come on in. First, let us start with why this place. When I looked for an apartment, I wanted one specific area. I needed a calm spot in the city, somewhere green and quiet, but still close to everything. Little Venice, with its canals and beautiful streets, was perfect. It sits right between the energy of Notting Hill and the calm of St. John's Wood. For over 3 years I have lived here, and for over 3 years I have shaped it. But before it became this, it was something else entirely. I bought this apartment 3 years ago. The moment I got the keys, I knew I had to start from zero. It was not about a simple makeover. It was a complete back-to-brick renovation. We stripped everything down to the bare bones, to the floor joists and the brick walls. Why? Because I wanted to build my vision on a clean slate. The goal was clear. Create large, open spaces for entertaining friends and family, and most importantly, make a home that works for my 2 giant dogs, Atlas and Leo. Let us be honest. Being your own client is the hardest job. In my work, I see incredible materials, smart technology, and beautiful finishes every day. For my clients, I help choose the best. For myself, I wanted it all. The struggle was real. I had to edit my own wishes to make a home that was not just a showroom, but a place to live. That tension between the designer's dream and the person's need is the story of this home. It all begins here in the entryway. This is your first impression. But what you see now is not what was here before. The original ceiling was low, very low. I believe someone in the 1980s or 90s lowered it, maybe to save on heating costs. My first big decision to rip it out. I took the ceilings back up to their original height. Immediately, the space felt bigger, brighter, more grand. That single change set the tone for the entire apartment. Now, I have a secret to show you right here in the entry. Storage was my biggest need. I have coats, shoes, leashes, dog towels, so much everyday stuff. I did not want it all on display. So we built this full wall of custom cabinetry. It looks like simple, beautiful wood panels, but if you look closely, here and here are doors. This entire section opens up. Inside, there is space for all our coats and shoes. Further down, behind another seamless door, is the laundry nook with a washer and dryer. And right here, this panel that looks exactly like the others. This is the door to the guest toilet. We hid it completely. Why? Because when you walk in, I want you to see a calm, elegant hallway, not a series of doors. It is about clean lines and a peaceful mind. And I had to think about durability from the very start. I have 2 large, energetic dogs. Atlas and Leo come in from walks, rain or shine. They shake, they run, they are full of life. So, every material had to be tough. All the paint on these walls is a special, wipeable kind. If a muddy paw print appears, I can just clean it off. The floors are wide, plank oak, but we had them treated. They brushed out the soft grain so that dog claws would not scratch and mark the surface easily. Some people design for beauty first. I design for life first. The truth is, this home was built for the dogs. My comfort came second, and that is okay. From the entry, we step into the heart of the home. This is the main living space. The kitchen, dining, and living area all in one open room, but it was not always open. Oh no, the original layout was a maze. There was a small, separate kitchen with very low ceilings. There were glazed doors that closed off a tiny living room. A dining table was squeezed into the bay window. It felt dark and cut into little boxes. When we tore down the walls, we discovered the most amazing thing: light. Suddenly, light poured in from the big front windows and from the back. It streamed all the way through. That was the magic moment. That light became my guide. I knew the space had to flow, to let that beautiful light travel freely all day long. To open it up, we had to remove a wall where a second bedroom used to be. That meant putting in a strong steel beam for support above. It was the first big structural job, but it was non-negotiable. I did not want a spare bedroom sitting empty. I wanted a big, beautiful space where I could cook, where friends could gather, where we could all relax together. That is London living to me, so welcome to my kitchen. Cooking for people is how I show I care. I love having friends over, sharing food, talking for hours, so the design of this kitchen started with one thing, the island. I knew I needed a big island with stools around it. Why? Because when I am cooking, I do not want to be alone. I want my friends right here, sitting with a glass of wine, maybe even chopping some vegetables. We can talk, we can laugh. The kitchen becomes part of the party, not a separate room. Now, I made one choice here that some people find very surprising. I put my kitchen sink on the island, facing the living room. Most people hide the sink. They say, you do not want to look at the dirty dishes. But for me, it was essential. If I am washing vegetables or rinsing a pot in the evening, I want to be part of what is happening. I want to see the TV. I want to talk to someone on the sofa. I did not want to turn my back on my guests, so the sink is right here, and yes, sometimes there are dishes. That is real life. I just tidy as I go. Another thing I do not like, big, noisy extractor fans hanging over the stove. They often do not work well and they block your view. My solution was a downdraft extractor. It is a flat panel that rises up right behind the stove. When you cook, it pulls the steam and smells straight down, right at the source, before they fill the air. It is quiet and incredibly effective. Then, everything dirty goes straight into the dishwasher. Simple, I keep my most used things within arm's reach. Herbs are in this pot to my left, my knives are here. My cooking utensils are in this pot to my right. All my pots and pans are in the deep drawers below the island. I can grab a pan, cook, and with a simple turn, drop it into the sink. The flow just works. Now, let us talk about this marble. I have a deep love for natural stone. It has life, variation, and beauty that man-made materials just cannot match. Finding this particular slab was a journey. I spent a whole day at a stone yard, a very expensive day out, just looking at different pieces. When I saw this marble with its dramatic, flowing veins, I knew I had to have it. We used it in a book, matched style behind the sink, meaning two slabs are opened like a book so the pattern mirrors itself. It creates a real focal point. Everyone asks me the same question, is marble in a kitchen not a nightmare? Does it not stain? The honest answer is, it can be. Natural marble is porous. Red wine, lemon juice, oil, they can all leave a mark, but here is the secret. We had this marble treated with a special, invisible sealant right after it was installed. This protective layer sits on top and stops stains from sinking in. So I can use my kitchen without fear. This marble has been here for 3 years of serious cooking. I make a lot of spaghetti bolognese, and there is not a single stain. You can have beauty and practicality. Another love of mine is metallic finishes. I love the warmth of brass, the coolness of nickel, but real metal details can be very expensive. My budget for my own home was not the same as for some of my clients. So we got creative. The run of high cabinets you see here, that is not real metal. It is a brilliant paint effect that gives the perfect illusion of a brushed metal finish. Then we paired it with real metal, the tap, the light switches, the cabinet handles. The eye blends them together. It is a smart way to get the look for less. This island is wrapped in a stained oak veneer. We use the same warm stain on all the drawers. It adds a touch of natural wood warmth against the cooler stone and metal. Because the kitchen is open to the living room, lighting was not just functional. It was emotional. How the space feels at night is just as important as how it looks during the day. We needed to create atmosphere. The solution was layered light. These upper cabinets have fluted glass fronts. Inside, they have lights. We also have lights under all the cabinets and hidden lights above them. At night, I can turn on just the cabinet lights for a soft glow, or layer in all the lights for a brighter scene. It also has a practical side. I can always see my glasses and dishes inside. Storage for hosting was key. I have drawers and cabinets full of crockery, cutlery, and serving platters for big dinners. Everything has its place. The ovens, the dishwasher, the fridge and freezer are all integrated. Even my coffee machine and toaster have a hidden home in a cabinet, so I can keep the counters clear and clean. And this, of course, is the most important appliance, the wine fridge. It is essential. Right next to the kitchen is the dining area. I wanted this to be a flexible, multi-use space. I needed a proper dining table that could seat 6 to 8 people comfortably for a dinner party. The answer was this custom banquette built into the bay window. We eat here every day, and we get to watch the trees in the communal gardens change with the seasons. This solid marble tabletop was another treasure from that stone yard day. I did not know where I would use it when I bought it, but it fits this spot perfectly. I designed the banquette seating myself, and knowing my dogs, and my friends who might spill a drink, I was practical. We lined all the upholstery with a special protective layer. It is like an invisible shield. If anything is spilled, the liquid stays on the surface and does not soak into the cushion. You can just wipe it clean. It is peace of mind. This is also my favorite spot to work during the day. I sit here with my laptop, answering emails, and look out at the world. To control the light, all the blinds are automated. They come down at dusk on their own. And if we want to watch a movie while it is still light outside, we have a blackout blind that turns the room dark in seconds. Now, let us move into the living area. This is the zone for true relaxation. Everything here was chosen with comfort and durability in mind. The rug is an antique Persian. It has lasted for decades because it is incredibly well made and tough. It handles dog traffic beautifully and is easy to vacuum. The large, deep sofa is another custom design from my studio. It is big enough for all of us, me, the dogs, and several friends, to sprawl out. And yes, it has the same protective lining as the banquette. The fireplace is the room's anchor. The surround is made from yet another beautiful marble from that same fateful stone yard trip. I wanted something simple and elegant. There was no existing chimney, so this is a bioethanol fire. It burns a clean fuel, needs no flue, and gives off a surprising amount of heat and a real dancing flame. It creates the perfect cozy focus for the room. Lighting is my personal passion. It is the single biggest tool to change the mood of a room. In this space, almost every light is on its own switch. We can create endless combinations. This beautiful chandelier is from Italy, from the 1950. It came from an old hotel. We have subtle lights set into the shelves on either side of the fireplace, up lights to wash the ceiling with light, and small down lights to highlight objects on the shelves. I did not want the shelves to look too perfect or styled. They are a mix of books I love, souvenirs from travels, family photos, and some of my favorite objects, and this end section I use as a bar. It is a signal to guests that they are welcome, that they should make themselves at home. Often they do. This swivel chair is one of the smartest pieces. It can turn to face the kitchen, the dining table, or the sofa. It connects all the zones and means no one is ever left out of the conversation. Now, I have to talk about the elephant in the room, or rather, the painting. This large piece of art gets a lot of comments online. Some people love it, some people really do not. Here is the true story. It was a last-minute accident. We were nearly finished, the walls were bare, and I had run out of budget for art. A dealer friend called me about a piece he had just gotten in from Minorca. The colors were perfect. I bought it almost on a whim. It was not a grand, planned purchase. It was a happy accident, and I love it. The lesson: Sometimes the best things are not perfectly planned, but if you have something you love, light it well. We use dedicated picture lights to make it shine. Let me show you the other rooms. Back near the entrance is the guest bathroom. It is small, but we made it feel special. We hid the door within the wall of cabinetry so it almost disappears. Inside, we used dark, moody stone tiles, a floating marble sink, and a single, beautiful pendant light. It is a little jewel box. Now to my private space, the main bedroom. This room faces north, which means it never gets direct, warm sunlight that can make a room feel cold. My biggest challenge was to make it feel warm, cozy, and inviting. Color was my weapon. I chose a rich, warm, earthy tone and used it everywhere. I painted the walls, the ceiling, the woodwork, the doors, all of it the same color. This is called color drenching. It wraps you in a single, cozy hue and makes the room feel larger and more intimate at the same time. I made another practical choice that some people find odd. I put my bed in front of the window. I do not mind the view of the London street, and this allowed me to have a huge headboard with built-in bedside shelves and storage. It also means I can watch the TV mounted on the opposite wall perfectly from bed. Comfort won over convention. I wanted the lighting here to be gentle. There are no harsh downlights. Instead, a sculptural ceiling light gives a soft general glow. There are reading lamps for each side of the bed. And my favorite touch, small motion. Sensor lights are hidden under the nightstands. If I get up at night, my footsteps on the rug make them glow softly, lighting a path to the bathroom. They turn off by themselves after 30 seconds. It is magic. The curtains are heavy and lined with a special acoustic material. When I close them at night, all the sounds of London, the cars, the people, just vanish. The silence is total. It is my true sanctuary. The wardrobes are another exercise in joinery detail. We used the same oak, but with 3 different stains. A light one for the drawer fronts, a medium one for the frames, and a dark one inside. This plays with light and shadow and makes the wood grain really sing. And this is my most treasured thing in the entire apartment. If there was a fire after getting Atlas and Leo out, this is what I would save. It is my simple vanity table. It is where I put on my watch, where I leave my sunglasses. It is not expensive, but it is mine. We lit it with the same care as a piece of art. Finally, the ensuite bathroom. Here, my motto was storage, storage, storage. I have deep drawers for all my toiletries, tall cabinets for towels, and hidden laundry baskets. I used a real honed limestone for the countertop. It feels soft and natural. The walls have a special plaster finish that adds texture, and the floor is large, easy, clean tiles. Every tap, every towel rail matches the metal finishes throughout the apartment. Consistency creates calm. So that is my home. It is not a perfect show house. It is a living, breathing space. It has dog hair, it has a sink with dishes sometimes, it has art that not everyone likes, but it is real. It is my personal laboratory where I test ideas, learn what works, and create a backdrop for a life well lived. Thank you for spending this time with me, for stepping into my little world in Little Venice. If this tour gave you some ideas or just a moment of calm, then I am glad. If you enjoyed it, please give the video a like, it truly helps. And for more journeys into thoughtful spaces, do explore the Winds of Thought channel. Until next time, take care.